places my body hadn't sold. Many miles away, I could start a perfect story, find myself and find out glory. This deceptive world, giving me the sign, giving me the sign. Giving me the sign, giving me the sign.
Welcome everyone to the Sci-Fi Queens, where we will explore the female characters in the science fiction TV shows, movie, book, art, and so much more. If you are new to our channel, we welcome you. My name is Nita, I am your host, and we ask that you hit that subscribe and notification bell. That will really help us grow our channel, and we truly appreciate that. Joining me tonight is my co-host Sarah and our surprise guest, our honorary sci-fi queen, Jace. How are you doing tonight, Jace?
Hi guys, yeah, great to be on. I consider myself pretty magnificent and a bit of a queen, so I think it's absolutely appropriate that you've asked me on here. Nah, it's a thrill to be on. Thank you. It's an honor.
Now there is a very good reason why and Sarah wanted you on here tonight, and we want to talk about that with you, and that is because although Sci-Fi Queens is a show about women and females in science and sci-fi, and we focus our attention on women, girls, and females in science fiction, in all forms. Um, our creator was Jace. Our creator was male. And we want to know, talk to us about what came to mind, how this idea came to you.
Well, firstly, I was born in 19. No, I'm only kidding. No, honestly, it came down to the fact that I was doing podcasts and with a lot of other guys, and we were talking about this stuff. But I know a lot of women my age who are way into sci-fi, and I wasn't seeing that represented anywhere on YouTube. I see a lot of young girls who are dressed maybe a bit too risque to kind of appeal to the nerd culture, and some legitimate YouTubers out there who are quite smart. But I certainly felt like, the women in my life that I know around my age, they're all uber nerds like me, and I just thought it'd be great. There needs to be more shows, more content, with women who, Generation X's, I thought, without being, and that was the approach. I've very much been raised by women my whole life, very strong, independent women. My wife's very strong and independent. My mother was, my sister is, my daughter certainly is. Though her being a teenager, I wish I changed my mind on that for a couple of years there, but she's okay now. But yeah, so I've always been very influenced. I've been very blessed to have strong female influences in my life. And I thought, hey, look, I love doing this stuff, and we're my sisters of the same generation talking about this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I must say, I approached Joe about it, who I must give a shout out, Joe Dove, who was working with me at that time. He pointed me towards you when I articulated that to him.
Oh, thank you, Joe, and thank you, Jace. I do appreciate that opportunity. I've learned a lot from Jace, guys, which you guys throughout this whole podcast tonight are going to hear more about that. But Sarah, do you have any questions for Jace and about his creating Sci-Fi Queens?
Well, I think he pretty much answered it. My question was, what was your drive? And it was, basically for people like me. And I mean, I understand. When you're talking about that, you're talking about me. So
Absolutely, yeah. But you're absolutely right. Sci-fi, it is a genre that was very much geared towards the male perspective. But we as women have made a significant contribution to science fiction and science. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to have a platform where I can highlight those things. And that's because of Jace.
Well, if you remember, we actually, I think when we approached you, the initial concept was to be Star Trek, and I balked at
Hmm.
that concept and went, no, don't do Star Trek because I
Yeah.
think you're limiting yourself. Because
Yep.
after
Mhm.
getting to know you at that time, I'm like, well, she's not just into Star Trek; she's got like fandoms all across, as we all do, right? We all do. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you
Hmm.
know, from Star Trek, like for me, it's like Star Trek, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. You know, now I'm
Mhm.
starting to fall in love with Doctor Who because I've just started watching that.
Oh,
Like
yay.
fandom just goes, yeah. I've just started, mind you. We can talk about that, but I started with the specials. Like the first
Oh,
episode I'd
really?
seen since I was a kid with Tom Baker was the David Tennant return. Well, anyway, that's an offshoot. But yeah, but either way, look,
Hmm.
I'm just so thrilled that you took the opportunity and ran with it. Because
Oh
it
yeah,
was
absolutely. And let me tell you guys, I mean, Jace has taught me so much when it comes to podcasting. He has so much to offer, and he has been instrumental in really creating, giving us a solid foundation. His thing to me was, I want to teach you how to do this so you can do it independently. And that is exactly what he did.
it's absolutely the aim every time. It's
Hmm.
the old teach a man to fish thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know, you can feed a
Yeah.
man or you can
definitely.
teach him to fish, and
Yeah.
it's way more
Hmm.
important to. And is it like if it was like no, it's all right, ladies. I'll look after this for you. There's a hypocrisy in the
Yeah.
concept of starting a sci-fi queen show about strong, independent women,
Mhm.
and then there's
Yeah,
some
that
dude trying to mansplain this whole thing to you. It's not appropriate.
And I have
Um,
to say, Jace is not a mansplainer. He does not mansplain anything.
that's good.
As
He's
I've
very
explained, I've
good
got a
with that.
very strong, independent wife and daughter who keep me in check.
Oh, I bet.
Oh yes,
That's right.
absolutely.
She is your queen right there.
Absolutely.
Now, I want to take a moment to thank some of our past guests that we've had in 2023. Our first guest was Claudia Licht. She was a part of our Star Wars episode. We had also Jenny Johnson, a fantastic artist who does beautiful oil paintings. She was with our sci-fi and artwork. Karen Nordine, a beautiful author of I 4 books and uh on her way to her fifth one right now. So guys, look out for that. And sci-fi in books. So we talked about her books, but we also talked about science fiction books in general. And we want to thank Courtney, who's been in quite few of our episodes as a guest in sci-fi and gaming. She's very knowledgeable in gaming. She's been with us with movie review, and she did our holiday top 5 sci-fi holiday episodes, which was uh wonderful to have her on the show as well. We actually have a few pre-recorded messages, and there is a special message here that I would like to make sure that our host Sarah listens to very carefully.
Happy holidays to the Sci-Fi Queens. Love the show. Looking forward to the new episodes in 2024. If you haven't seen the podcast, give them a watch. You won't regret it. Sarah's my favorite one.
He knows which side his bread is buttered on. That's for
That
sure.
Mhm.
is right. Now we have a viewer that has been with us since our very first episode. Okay, and he is a faithful viewer, such a wonderful person, so supportive of Sci-Fi Queens. Um, and it goes by 2 names online, either Jupiter 2 or United Federation of Planets. And the message he sent, he wasn't able to send a pre-recorded message, but he sent me a written message and wanted me to read it. And he says, I'm sorry that I didn't have time to make a video for you all, but I do have something I would like to say. Thank you for creating this amazing podcast that is funny, informative, and just all around amazingness. Also, congratulations on reaching and passing your 50 subscriber goal. It's such a huge achievement and you deserve it. I want to wish you all a happy New Year's, and that the shows have many, many more episodes to come. We thank you so much for always being so supportive to us, and your message is just beautiful, and we really, truly do appreciate it. He is like an amazing person, always there. Uh, to support us. He reposts our videos. He's fantastic. Um, so, Jace, this is something that you do for a living. You do, like, you did all our thumbnails for 2023. You
Yeah.
did our intro that we do in the beginning of the show, and our outro at the end of the show was something that you created for us. You also created our little introductions for the female scientists,
Oh, yeah.
emphasize
Segment
both
bumpers.
recommend. Yeah, the segment bumpers. So that's something that you kind of do for a living. So, uh,
Hmm.
want
Yeah.
to talk
Well,
to
it's
me
one of
about
those.
this.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it comes from I run my own videography business called YK Productions, where
Mm-hmm.
I do corporate videos for clients, government clients, as well as a lot of corporate clients. So I'm lucky enough where I get to travel around Australia, do all these amazing things, get to shoot this stuff, which is great. And then at the same time, I have a hobby, which is this. And I'm fortunate enough to use all the skills that I've learned for my job and apply them to here. And that's where, for me, the other thing is I found on YouTube, to be honest with you, when I got into this game, a lot of bland looking stuff. So I like to add what I call the Jace's bit of razzle dazzle. So I make things
Oh
look
yeah.
good, have really strong intros. Segment bumpers are actually by design to help a show keep moving. So the reason we have segment bumpers is if you get like stuck in a certain point, you can put that little bumper up and drive the show forward. Plus, they're a good little visual aid. Yeah, look, I've been playing with Photoshop since Photoshop 2 or 3. So I've been playing in the Photoshop realm for about 25 years. I've been doing video editing 15, 20 years.
Wow.
So, I've kind of picked up a skill set, but look, at the end of the day, to try to pump myself up and say I'm great at it, I let others judge on that because I see a lot of other people coming up and I'm inspired by them. So as long as you guys are happy with them, I seem to get a bit of good feedback. I'm able to make a living from
Absolutely.
it, so I must be doing something right. Um,
And let me just say, all of the Sci-Fi Queens stuff for 2023 was done by Jace, but he has actually been teaching me to do
mm,
our own thumbnails for our shows. So the 2024 thumbnails, with the exception of our first one that we'll show you guys later,
mm.
was something that I was able to create with his tutelage and his backup and feedback. Otherwise, I mean, again, he's not creating a show about independent women if he doesn't give us the tools to succeed,
No,
right?
that's right. And
Hmm.
so when I made those thumbnails, that comes from my perception on what you guys are doing, which is
Hmm.
just a perception, rather than you guys starting to create that. And it's your personality that comes through that. And I
Yeah.
think in the game of YouTube these days, being unique, being able to make yourself stand out from the crowd is more important than ever. So to have your
Oh,
own personality is
absolutely.
the only way to
Hmm.
do it.
Yeah. Now we
Mm.
have a special holiday message from Jason Roy Gaston
Oh, not
from
this guy.
Captain's Court. Yeah, yeah, that's right. And you guys need to hear this. He's even got his beautiful little battle cat in there.
Mm.
Listen to this wonderful message he sent us.
Merry Christmas, Sci-Fi Queens, and Happy New Year. 'Tis I, Jason Roy Gaston, and I would like to wish you and your viewers the happiest of holidays, and of course, a very happy 2024. My God, we're living in the future. I've enjoyed your show. I've enjoyed you. Count you among my friends, and I can't wait to see what the Sci-Fi Queens cook up next. So you just keep doing what you're doing, and I will be doing what I will be doing, and we'll do them separately. Yes. Yes, we will. All my best. Happy holidays, and God bless us, everyone.
Greetings, so-called Sci-Fi Queens. This is the mighty Battle Cat bringing you the gift of my presence. I would like to take this opportunity to say that I tolerate you and your show. I wish you survival in the new year unless you piss me off. I find your existence adequate. That is all. Be gone! My cameo is over. You might as well turn it off. It's not going to get any better.
She is amazing.
Again,
Who
Battle
doesn't
Cat
love
steals the
Battle
show.
Cat? She steals the show. She is truly a sci-fi queen. She's
She
truly a
is.
sci-fi queen.
There you
That
go.
was a beautiful message. Sarah, what did you think of Devin's message?
I was surprised.
Oh,
But he's been very supportive of the show and of me, and wishes me luck before the show every time. So it's like break a leg.
Hmm.
so
He,
Sarah,
Jason was an interesting because I met Jason through Joe when we were trying to find guests for the Captain's Quadrant.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Joe has a knack of bringing people.
He knows how to bring people together. No, he
Yes.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Ooh,
gift.
he's a
Now,
matchmaker.
Sarah,
He is.
yeah, he is. He's a podcast matchmaker.
Yeah. he is.
So, Jace, as you know, Sarah was actually a viewer who started viewing us at Captain's Quadrant.
Wow. Poor thing.
So talk to us, Sarah. Talk to us about your journey as a viewer to becoming a guest on Sci-Fi Queens to now being a co-host and my partner in crime.
Well, it was I always I support my friends, and that's what I was doing with Captain's Quadrant. I like it, and I still do. And then the Sci-Fi Queen started, and I was watching that, and I was truly enjoying it. And then you guys invited me to come on, and that was I was nervous the first couple times, like I was almost in a panic attack because I don't do this. So it was a little rough, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be because I was like, oh God. But it's just like having a conversation with somebody. So it's really not like you're not there. It's not like you would think TV would be like with all the cameras and crap in your face. It's just us having a conversation, and being a guest was great. And then you guys asked me to become a queen, and I was like, well, okay. And it's just like, because, well, it was getting to be, I was like on every other week. So
Might as well be. Can I just say though, Sarah, you mentioned you were really nervous the first couple of times. Didn't notice it when I saw it. So
oh, that's
you did
good.
a great job in hiding it.
Absolutely
And if I was to
agreed.
talk behind the scenes, I think me and Nita had a message to each other where I said, get her. I think I said, get her on the show. 'Cause, yeah, like I said, you remind me of my friends and people I know. We're into the same, we love our nerd
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
I have
Yes.
I have a lot of fingers in a lot of fandoms. So
Just like
Same
me,
here.
we like a variety of fandoms. We like a variety of science fiction. So that's something that was definitely wonderful, and it's nice to have someone who's been on the show, who's been with us through the journey, even before Sci-Fi Queens even came on, because she was a viewer of Captain's Quadrant, and then started watching us in Sci-Fi Queen to become then a guest. It was really wonderful.
Mhm.
Do we have any comments to highlight?
yeah, we have a few.
Take
Um,
it away.
Oddly enough,
I own one actually. If you'd asked me, I could
You
have.
should have gotten
Yeah.
a wig.
because we were talking about
Thanks,
that.
Joe. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, leave it to Joe, right?
Yeah,
And-
thanks, Joe.
Philip is here,
Hey, Philip.
Hey, Philip, how are you, mate?
and
He was one of our awesome Star Trek fans on Captain Quadrant.
Yes, he was.
Mhm.
Well deserved, he was.
and Jupiter 2's here.
G'day,
You're late, but
g'day.
that's okay. You're here. That's what matters.
Yep, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Absolutely. So we're going to take a commercial break and be right back. yes, that is Jace's company. Jace, talk to us about how people can reach you. What are the things you offer in your company?
Sure,
I want to be
sure.
supportive of your company and what you do. 100%. You know that I'm always after you for a new commercial.
You are, you are. Well, that particular promo ad, which to be honest with you, I kind of put together last minute for this show, um, is really showing the podcast arm of the business, where the idea is, like people like yourselves who want to start a podcast and want to stand out. Making yourself kind of visually appealing is important. Everyone wants a good intro. They want their stuff looking good, and that's where I come into it. So you want to start a show, you want to have a fancy motion graphics animated intro, I do that. I make thumbnail templates. I can do the like segment bumpers and logos and things like that. So the idea is just to add I'm the icing of the cake on a podcast. That's what this arm of the business does.
Yeah.
So,
You
which is good.
absolutely are.
And making it accessible, affordable, and tailored, because you can go to other things like Fiverr and things like that, but you're not going to get the tailor-made kind of attention to detail that someone like myself offers.
Exactly, exactly. And I tell you, if you guys take a look at our videos for 2023 that are on our YouTube page, you will see the quality of his work because all of it is his. And the shows that we've done, we've talked about Star Wars. We've done science fiction and art, science fiction and books. We've done movie reviews, all of these things. And he has put together such an influence on what we do and what we showcase and how we present ourselves, putting that best foot forward. It's been definitely a learning experience for me because I didn't know that I had the skill sets that I'm learning that, oh, wait, I kind of do. And I
Yeah.
was showing my cousin some of the stuff, some of the thumbnails that I had created. And she goes, that has Jace influence on it. Because, yeah, I talk about you
Good.
to people. I talk about you to people. And actually, that's like a very proud moment for me because, you could see his teachings in what we do, which is really like so amazing and so great,
Well,
um
let's be honest. When we were working on the other channel, I was a Nazi about it. I was really strict, wasn't I? Let's face it.
he was strict,
I was
but
really strict.
it really it gave me an understanding of the importance of that quality that needed to be
And
brought
that was the
forward.
reason why I was strict about it, because I want everyone's best face forward. And if I
Hmm.
can say, hey, that isn't aligned correctly, or it's too dark, or you've cut that
Yes.
off, and it helps improve that
Hmm.
you look better on the screen and you
Yeah.
learn something from it, that's the idea. I just want everyone to be looking the best that they could be. And the fact that you've learned something, and it's not, I've been lucky enough to show a few people now, teach a couple of people some things, and it's been wonderful. And I've learned a lot too, and that's just it. This isn't a one-way
Yes.
street.
Yes.
I learn a lot of things. Like I
Yeah.
might be able to teach you about design and colours and things like that, but there's a lot of other things that I don't know that I learn a lot of. And Joe being one of them, like his social media presence, him getting me a bit more confident in just approaching people and talking to people is something that's not natural for me. So I learned
Yes.
that. Certainly with you, Nita, learning from the female perspective, and we've had some tussles along the way. We've had some disagreements, and I've always learned something from those disagreements. So, and which is great because we've all got the same goal,
Exactly.
to do it the best we possibly can. And sometimes
Exactly.
a little bit of conflict gets you past that kind of point.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's one of the things I'm proud of, just to see that it's been a year. That's all it was. It was a year.
Yep.
We started this, and now to where it is, to you flying free, and you're achieving, and you're from the bottom ground up. You've worked from it, and you're working at it, and it's wonderful to see. It really is.
And one of the things that I I do want to highlight is, although she's no longer with Sci-Fi Queens, Navia's influence will remain
Oh
because
yeah.
it was her idea to come up with segments. Segments are really important for our show, and for us to be able to highlight the things in female science and books and literature and things like that that we really want. And she came up with the idea of uh, kind of presenting a female scientist.
It was a good. It
And
was a
yeah,
great
it is
idea.
a
It was a
great
phenomenal
idea,
idea.
Mhm.
phenomenal idea. We thank her from the bottom of our heart for that idea. And Sarah has taken on the reins for that responsibility, and she is doing a phenomenal job with it. And you guys are now going to see yet another bumper segment that Jace has created, because we're going to be going to our female scientist
Ah.
segment. Take it away, Sarah.
Okay, so this week the female scientist I picked is Catherine A. Janeway. She's a medical doctor and has a Master of Medical Science degree from Harvard. Yeah, she's an actual real person. That's her real name. Um, and while I was looking for a scientist or doctor specializing in pediatric oncology, which we'll get to later, I came across Katie. Besides having an amazing name, she's an incredible person. Katie comes from a medical family, and her father, Charles Janeway, actually wrote the textbook on immunology. It's the book that they actually use to teach doctors about immunology. She and her two sisters followed in their father's footsteps into the medical sciences. Katie is a pediatric hematology oncology specialist and investigator with a research focus on pediatric sarcomas. Dr. Janeway is Boston based and received her medical degree from Harvard in 2000. She completed her residency in pediatrics at Children's Hospital, Boston, where she rose to chief resident, and then completed her fellowship in pediatric hematology and oncology at Dana Farber Cancer Institute, Children's Hospital, Boston in 2007. Dr. Janeway joined the staff of Dana Farber in 2007. I'm sorry. Her current titles are Senior Physician at Dana Farber Boston's Children's Center and Blood Disorder Center, Director of Clinical Genomics at the Dana Farber Cancer Institute, and she is an Associate Professor of Pediatrics at Harvard. Since 1999, Dr. Catherine Janeway has had over 160 articles published in medical journals. The most recent was just this year in 2023. These articles document her research and clinical results and are shared with others around the world to provide access to further their own research and better help patients. And then, not only is she a cancer researcher, she is also a survivor. About 10 years ago, she was diagnosed and went on to beat an acute form of leukemia at her own hospital. She was treated by the gene therapies that she's working on. As a survivor, she has gone on to run marathons and bike races and continues to inspire cancer patients and others that not just surviving, but living fully is possible.
Wow, that is amazing.
Wow, she hasn't been up to
Yeah,
much in life, has she?
I
Wow.
know, right?
She's probably sounds like the most accomplished person I've ever heard of.
And she's young. She's our age.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, great.
but
Now I feel even worse about myself.
thanks,
Sorry.
Sarah.
Sorry.
But our purpose in highlighting a female scientist is so that young women and older women and young girls who are watching and men who
Hmm.
are watching can see the contribution that women are doing in the sciences.
Hmm.
And I'm always telling our audience that if they have a suggestion, to put it in the comment section after the show. And let me tell you about a suggestion one of our viewers gave us that actually influenced how we present the female scientist, which is actually Sarah. Sarah is now doing this, and it was a Navia segment that she had created here with us. However, it was Sarah's idea to put bullet points the way that we do it, and to put the name up the way we do it and put the social media information up. That was actually Sarah's suggestion because as a viewer, she felt it was kind of hard to sometimes hear the name and copy it down. And it made it easier to go back and do your own
You could go
reading
back.
on the back.
Right, because you could go back to the video and just pause
Yeah.
it and then look it up rather than like, okay, did I hear it right?
100%.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, here at Sci-Fi Queens, we absolutely take viewer suggestions and we really do make considerations for them. Now, we do have another video message from my brother from another mother, Joe, and we're going to listen to what a brother got to say.
Hey, don't be fooled by the Death Star. That's no moon. Anyway, wishing you guys a very merry and happy pleasantries for the new year. Everything's going great for everybody. It was an amazing start out on the former Spectrum, now Captain's Quadrant podcast. I am the co-host, Joe Dove. It is great to see you guys come and thrive at the Sci-Fi Queens channel, and I am watching from two places, also in the Console Room podcast. Wishing you guys Happy New Year and all the best.
Oh, I love
Thank you,
Joe.
Joe.
He never misses an opportunity for a free plug, and I love
That's
that
right.
about him.
That's right.
He
But
made
here's
sure
the
he
thing.
got a plug in.
He's gonna get a plug in again later.
Oh, he's great.
And you guys are now gonna see another little segment that actually Jace and I came up with. It was so funny because I came to Jace about adding a segment, and he had the same segment idea when I came to him. He was like, "Yeah, I was thinking about a segment too," and we came up with the same exact segment. Okay, which is the sci-fi book recommendations. Here is this beautiful bumper, our updated bumper, our updated little intro that he did for us. So amazing. Here we go. A scary redhead reading a book in the forest. That is so sci-fi right there. I love it. I absolutely love
Hey,
it.
my mum and my sister are redheads. They are terrifying.
Yes, they are. So this week's sci-fi recommendation is a female author by the name of Lindsay Baroker. Now, this is a 3-part kind of mini series, and it's actually free on Google Books, but you can get it on your local library. Please support your local libraries. If your local library does not have a book that we recommend that you want, you could always talk to them. And sometimes, I know here in New York City, if your local library doesn't have it, they see if another library has it, and they bring it over to your local library so that you can pick it up there. So sometimes these things happen. Google Books has this one for free. It is called Star Kingdom. It's a science fiction series where the smart, geeky hero gets to save the day. The king cannot be trusted. The galaxy is on the brink of war. A notorious mercenary is destroying everything in his path on his quest for vengeance. Vengeance is nothing good comes from that. The hero of the story are a band of misfits and underdogs. Who doesn't like an underdog, right? I always love a story. This is a fantastic story. It is not a very long book. You think of a series of 3 as a lot of sort of like the Hunger Games, just they're big books. This is not. These are very kind of short story but they're pretty fantastic. Definitely recommend the book, and she's a fantastic author. So definitely check that book out. We do have another message from a guest that we had here on, Karen Nordine, who is a author as well, and I would love for you guys to hear it.
Hi, I'm Karen Nordine, author of the Amazon best-selling novel Sweet Little Lies, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank all of the lovely ladies of the Sci-Fi Queens for allowing me to be a guest on their show this year. Of all the great shows I had the privilege of being on this year, the Sci-Fi Queens was one of my absolute favorites. Not only were all of the hosts incredibly grateful and knowledgeable on their subjects, but they were so much fun to talk to. The Sci-Fi Queens has quickly become one of my favorite shows on YouTube, and I love all of their discussions on women in science fiction, particularly in film, television, literature, and of course the segment on actual women working in science and technology today. Thank you so much to the Sci-Fi Queens for having me, and all the best wishes for the new year.
That's a beautiful message. Beautiful
That's a
message.
lovely message.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's so wonderful the people that we get to meet
Yeah.
here doing
Yeah.
the podcast, and I'm so appreciative of that. Sarah,
Yeah.
do we have any comments that you want to highlight?
Yes. Hold on. We have Claudia here.
What, Claudia?
She came in and said hi.
Thank you so much. She was our first guest,
Yes, I
as
believe
I
she
had
was,
mentioned
wasn't she?
earlier. She was definitely our first guest. We really
Her
appreciate
knowledge on
her.
Star Wars was
Out of
unbelievably
control.
excellent. As a
Yeah.
Star Wars nerd, I was so I was learning things from her. And I've been watching
She
this stuff since I
has
was
so much
5.
knowledge. Yes, her Star Wars game is unmatched. Like
It is. It is.
she's
You want
good.
her with you at a Star Trek trivia game. That's what you want.
A Star
Oh
Wars
yeah.
Yeah.
trivia game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely. Any other comments?
Joe being supportive as always. Yay!
Oh, you're
Thank you,
so
Joe.
awesome. Hmm.
Okay.
Alrighty. Now, we do have a segment that I kind of added onto us. It's a new segment where I get to highlight and support other podcasters. It's not enough that we grow, but that we help others grow and be noticed as well. So this little intro was my doing, not Jace. Don't judge Jace's work based on this one.
Oh, okay. No, but I'll judge your work now.
Nice and simple. Nice and simple. Now we're
That's
going to
it. Nice and
start
simple.
with the recommendation. Of course, as always, our number one recommendation is VHS Jace, where Jace takes you through the nostalgic journey with live streams and video clips. Really check his channel out and really subscribe. I mean, you're gonna have so much fun. Anything that we should be expecting from your channel?
Look, it is a repository for member berries. That's how I describe it. So it's just things that, meant something to me in the world of video and film and TV. And I just clip, like, do intros and stuff like that. And it's all just about sharing the love that I have for content and just putting it out there and hoping somebody else goes, I remember that show. Wasn't it awesome? So it really is
Yes.
just about, like, nostalgia. And why not? Why not?
Absolutely.
In a world where we've got so
Absolutely.
much content these days and, not a lot of great content. Sometimes it's great to look back at some of the things that, have
Yeah,
meant something to all of us over
absolutely.
the years.
Absolutely. And then we have, of course, Rick and Jace. These are my Australian brothers. They take you every Friday and Saturday night. Take you through a journey of pop culture media news with an Australian style and twist, and really give you a lot of information and updates on Australian television as well as American television, which is pretty fantastic to have in a perspective of someone other than an American perspective. So
Well,
what can we expect in
well,
2024?
continuing, me and Rick try to come from the perspective is we're not in Hollywood, right? We're not writing for Hollywood. We're not industry insiders. However, we're half a world away. And we're observing what's going on in the industry, and the industry is affecting everyone. So corporate decisions that no one normally cares about, I'll touch on them because I know the ripple effects of what it does to stuff on our screens. Like right
Yes,
now, the financial disaster of streaming services means coming up, we're getting less content because they can't afford it
exactly.
anymore. So we try to
Yep.
touch on the big news stories as they come along. And it is a lot of fun. And yes, it's got an Australian twist. I always try to highlight something very Aussie for the audience every week.
Yes. And I'm a big lover of Australian television and TV shows. So I love their show because I get information sometimes before the Australian shows that I watch get updated here. So
Mm,
it's pretty fantastic. And then
mm.
we have the Jason Gaston channel where
It's just me, really, in there again,
yeah,
isn't it? It's just me on every these three things. All right,
You're
look,
everywhere, brother.
you don't go to this channel to watch me. You go to this channel to see the amazingly talented Jason
Yes.
Roy Gaston. The guy's a genius.
Yes.
It's weird that I feel like I've found kinship in a big, tall Texan dude halfway across the world. But I do. I love working with him. I think he's funny, he's smart, and it's a privilege to be able to do content VHS Vault. If you
Yes.
don't agree, you're wrong. The Power of J Skull and our new Avatar show, Breaking Wind. That was his name
Wow,
for the
that's
title, not
amazing.
mine. But it's a lot of fun.
And let me tell you
He's just
guys
fun to work
about
with.
the one show here that I love has always been The Power of J Skull because you guys really deep dive on all the characters and I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the VHS Vault because you guys talk about those 80s movies that no one is making. Um
Mm.
they're not making movies like that anymore. So it's pretty fantastic. Go check these guys out. They're fantastic. And of course, the Captain's Quadrant, where it all started, right?
Hmm.
Every
Yep.
Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, they do all things Star Trek. The TV shows, movies, interviews, all things Star Trek is there. You will also find their Joe's new channel, where is the Council Room podcast. They're going to be talking about all things Doctor Who on this channel. So if you're a Whovian like me and Sarah and Jace, this is where you go for that information and that
Well,
chat.
there's only some episodes I can watch at the moment, isn't there? Because I'm too scared to watch things when they reference older shows because I've got a
That's
lot of
true. That's
homework.
true. That's a
I've
lot
got a
of
lot of
homework.
homework.
Yep. And then we have our friends up north, Nerdy Up North. They are a great collective of team of people. Nerdy Up North is a great community where any nerd can be free and safe from gatekeeping or abuse or general nasty behavior. They embrace nerd culture, promote positivity between fandoms, and they just have this open door for new experiences. They're great guys. They do Star Trek, they do movies, they do
Mm.
all things. And they're just fantastic. They're in the UK, and it's great to see podcasters from all around the world. You
Hmm.
know?
Absolutely.
I have this new podcast that I started watching. It's called The Phoenix Sisters. They are fantastic ladies who do a lot of cosplays, a lot of general geeky kind of podcasting. They are doing fantastic work. So go check their stuff out. They actually did also an interview with Karen Nordine. She was on there. That's how I gonna learned from them because I saw she was going to be on. And I said, oh, let me check these ladies out. And that's how I learned, right? And they're also involved in a charity event that's coming up. It's going to be January 25th through the 28th in 2024. They will be a part of a fundraiser that will provide child friendly comic books for children in hospitals and cancer centers throughout the USA. This is their flyer. Go check them out at youtube.com. Phoenix Sisters. They're going to be doing this fundraiser. All the information is there. This is just a fantastic thing. Kids going through chemo and cancer treatment, being able to read comics and just get that entertainment for free. Parents go through so much, especially
Mm.
expenditures when it comes to treatment. These little things do help so much more than we can imagine. So definitely check them out. January 25th through the 28th. And they are just fantastic. And it's just all around great. Um, and let's see. Yes, we have I don't know, Sarah, talk to me. What are you looking forward for 2024 in the Sci-Fi Queens?
I'm looking forward to seeing how the channel can grow. I mean, we've already grown to 50, what is it, 60 subscribers now
Yes.
by the end of 2023. And, if we can do that, what else can we do?
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. How about you, Jace? You as the founding member of Sci-Fi Queens, what is your expectations? What are you looking forward to seeing with
Well, my
Sci-Fi Queens?
expectations are well, you've already met them as far as I'm concerned because you're doing it. Every time you do it, you're succeeding. I just want to see you guys grow organically. I love seeing how the show is slowly evolving and shaping. I love seeing you girls, your personalities coming out. So I just keep doing it, keep doing it because I think the audience, once we get friendly with the algorithm, and that's what every podcaster wants to be friendly with the algorithm. Once that happens, there's nothing stopping the show. As you know, Nita, I've always been a big believer that this show could take off. So that's what I'm hoping for you guys.
Thank you. I wanted to share with our audience before we bring this show to a closure. Um, Sarah and I worked on a few shows for the beginning of
Mm,
2024.
cool.
And I just wanted to share with you guys what we're coming up with. We're going to start out um, our next show will be January 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be doing a review of Flatlands. This is a thumbnail that Jace did, but it was a show that we were supposed to do when I was suddenly in the hospital, so we couldn't do it. So we're
Yeah.
definitely going to visit back and read the book and talk to you guys about Flatlands, a romance of many dimensions. This is a fantastic, and it's old book. It's a very old book, but it's really fantastic. That's going to be January 12th. And then we're going to do the Women of Orville on January 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern
Awesome.
Time. Orville is a fantastic show, and I'm still hopeful they're going to come up with a season four, but have wonderful female characters that we're going to be talking about as many of them as we can. We're also going to have the International Day of Women and Girls in Science on February 9th. This is a day that is taken here internationally to celebrate the women and girls in science. So we're definitely going to do a show on that,
Fantastic.
promote them, promote their scientists. We're going to have a special guest that day. We're not announcing who our guests are going to be, but we are going to have a guest that day. And it's going to be an incredible time. Definitely, if you have young girls, this is the day you want them definitely watching. Even our book recommendation is going to be kids friendly that day. And on February 16th, we are going to be doing it's February in the United States is Black History Month. So we're going to be doing a celebration of Black women in sci-fi and science. So we're going to be doing on February 16th. We have a special guest coming on. We're going to talk about all the influences that has been made and contribution made by Black women in the sciences and science fiction. We're also going to be having in February 23rd a movie review. This movie was selected by Sarah because clearly history says my movie selection sucks. So Sarah is now in charge of movie selections.
It's a
Yeah,
great choice,
that is.
Sarah. I will defend that movie. I know it's some people don't like it, but I love
Oh,
Elite
I
Battle
I,
Angel.
I loved it. So
I haven't
Yeah,
watched it yet, but we are going to actually have two special guests that day. One is a sci-fi fan, and another one is a sci-fi novice. Who will be coming on. She's going to be watching this movie, and coming on and giving her a view as a fan novice on this science fiction show movie. And then on March 8th, we are going to talk about female superheroes. And we're going to have a special guest on that day as well. It's going to be fantastic start of the year. And I'm really looking forward to seeing this show grow, seeing where everything is going. Sarah, any comments before we close off tonight that you want to highlight, or we're good?
no, we're good.
All right. I want to thank Jace for coming on. If you want to say
cool.
anything before we close off, Jace, any final thoughts?
Yes, thank you for having me on. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be here this evening and, to be part of this and to see you guys grow and see you two are just, you guys are made for this. So thank you again and bring on 2024 Sci-Fi Queens.
Thank you. Sarah, any closing thoughts that you want to share to end Sci-Fi Queens 2023?
I just want to thank Jace for coming up with this, that, we wouldn't be here without him. So I greatly
Thank you.
appreciate you. And I'm looking forward to how we can grow and how your dream can grow. So,
Yes,
Excellent. Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you guys for always sticking with us, for viewing with us, for our former guest. It has been such a delight. I know that in the beginning I kind of highlighted them, but I want to go over our past guests just one more time. Claudia Alec, our first guest with our Star Wars. She is a Star Wars guru. You got a Star Wars questions,
hmm
please ask Claudia. Like, she's pretty awesome. Jenny Johnson in our sci-fi and art. What a wonderful artist, oil paint artist that she is. Karen Ordine, what an amazing author that she is, and a sci-fi fan and cosplayer. And Courtney, who's joined us in several of our shows. We thank them for joining us. We thank all of those who submitted videos. They were lovely messages, and we truly do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And here is our outro created by Jace.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our new channel so that you can get notified when new videos come up. Thank you for watching our show.